wasn't the baby kissing, shake hands, slap on the back kind of guy, was he? Okay, he was pretty much cold, a little bit austere and things like that. So he didn't really fit in. However, was he a huge public servant? Yeah, if you look at his credentials, the things that he did as far as working with the United States, Secretary of State, President, the only president to ever leave office and then run for the House of Representatives. Most people would consider that to be a what? A step down, right? Okay, except he's going to do it, and he'll do it till he dies. Why? Because he believed in public service. Okay, and doing the good for your country. As we talked about a minute ago, okay, the sectionalism is going to rear its ugly head, okay, during this time period. However, we're also going to start to see an increase in democracy to more people during this time frame, especially as we get into the Jackson time period. Did you come across a term in the reading talking about down with King caucus? Bless you. Thank you. No, not yet? Okay. Does anybody know what a caucus is?
It's a group of people.
It's what?
Group of people.
It is a group of people.
Like a little group type thing.
A political caucus would be, if this was a caucus, right, we would be the representatives that were going to make the decisions for the rest of the school. All right? So let's say we are going to appoint a new principal. Fisher's out. All right? Okay? So, now, what would be more democratic, for the entire school to vote or for us to vote for them? Okay, exactly right. Okay, for most of the schools. So what they're saying in here is down with King caucus, because what happened was the party leadership, the party bosses got to determine who would run for office. They would pick them and say, okay, you're going to represent us, you're going to run.
What if you didn't want to?
Well,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. What kind of impacts would the first industrial revolution have on the United States? Okay, stop. Think about this for a second. Okay, what does the Industrial Revolution mean?
More engines. There's like more money going around.
Okay.
Things are faster.
More money. Okay, what else?
Factories and like people are living more in cities than owning farmland.
Okay, well, so we're going to see a movement into the cities. We're going to see the creation of factories, meaning the creation of more jobs.
Mass production.
Okay, more production. Okay, mass production. Okay, it's going to come through this. What else, Aaron?
Bigger middle class.
Okay, exactly. As people start to get more money, we're going to see an elevation then of the class level. Carl?
There are generally higher birth rates when the country moves to the second stage of demographic transition.
Thank you very much.
Higher birth.
Say no, that was very good. Okay. That's AP hug.
People like work around the clock now instead of just like on their own row.
Okay, exactly. Do we start to actually lose some of the artisans and stuff like that?
Yes.
What's an artisan?
Skills. Someone.
Skilled craft workers.
Yeah.
So we see more people doing that. Okay, so there are a lot of things. How could this relate to immigration?
Because now immigrants start to come in.
Exactly. Job opportunities will start to bring people in. Okay? This would be known as a pull factor. Right, Carl? Okay, good. Right? Now, one of the things that your book doesn't talk about that it probably should was an organization known as the Ball Mill. They were textiles. What did textiles make?
Cloth.
Clothes. Okay, and they would take that cotton brought up from the south and they're going to make clothes out of it. And they were located all out throughout the Northeast and stuff like that. Okay, this was the first one in Lowell, Massachusetts. Now, what's unique about it is the fact of how they operated and stuff like that. And they had these mills, okay, and they're making the clothes and things like that. They were enticing women to come and work for them. So the vast majority of their workforce is going to be female. Now, why is this radical?
Because women are working and producing.
Exactly. Women are starting to enter the workplace. Okay? And they had a very unique situation. It wasn't just like, yeah, okay, come and then go home. They had dormitories. They had dining facilities. So the girls lived here. And they were supervised. There was like den mothers. Right? They had rules and regulations. They had curfews. They had to act like ladies and stuff like that. Right? They worked an average of a 73-hour work week. Right? For about $5 to $7 a week. Now, we kind of like, oh my gosh. Okay, however, this was a good thing for a lot of these women. Right? What are some of the social things that are going to connect to this?
Women are going to start wanting more rights.
Bam. Okay, as women start to get economic independence, they start looking around and doing what?
Hey, we
Wait a
can
minute,
do it
why
too.
am I a second-class citizen? Why do I not have the right to cast a simple vote? Because of my gender. So we also start to see the spark of the women's suffrage movement come during this time frame.
Well, also, didn't they have all like the dorms and the food and all of that? Was that provided?
They had to pay.
They had to pay for that.
Okay. And actually, the women actually led 2 strikes over about a 30-year time period too, which shows a lot of courage and guts and determination too as well. Picture during that time frame later, I think it was taken like in the 1850s. All right. The election of 1824. Boom. And we've said this repeatedly, but it's true. Nationalism is going to start to be replaced by sectionalism. Now, when you look at the election of 1824, it's one of those very pivotal moments, okay, in American history as it relates to elections. Okay, if we look at like 1800, 1824, 1860, right, 1968, there are certain elections that have huge like impacts and things. Okay, this sectionalism is once again mainly brought upon by what?
Slavery.
The issue of slavery. There are going to be 4 main candidates for this election. Right? Each are going to represent their own sectional region. John Quincy Adams represented which area? The North. Okay? The North. William Crawford, the South. Right? He was from South Carolina. Okay? Clay and Jackson represented the West. And Western interests.
Mr. Lewis, if both Clay and Jackson represent Western interests, why don't they get along?
It's rivalries. They hate each other. And it's going to be because of this election, too.
Oh, just because of they both wanted the power, so to speak.
And they were both extremely hard-headed men. All were Democratic Republicans. Why?
This is a one party.
There was only one political party. Okay, we're talking about the era of good feelings, and this will be the death of it right here. Okay, does that mean they all had the same ideals?
No.
Okay, exactly. Not at all. I put on here that the electorate voted along sectional lines. What is an electorate? It's the voters. Okay, so if you're from Georgia, who did you probably vote for? Crawford. If you're from New Hampshire, who did you probably vote for? Okay, if you're from Tennessee, who did you probably vote for? Yep. 1824 is also the first year in American history that there was a popular vote for president. All the previous elections had been chosen by the Electoral College alone. Okay? So now Americans are actually going to get to cast a ballot. So here we have a total of 356,000 ballots cast. Okay, now, who gets the most popular votes?
Jackson.
Andrew Jackson. Okay, who gets the most electoral votes?
Jackson.
Jackson wins!
No.
Why not?
50% plus 1.
Because you have to have a majority. But I thought a majority meant that you just had more than the other guy.
No. Majority
No, so what's a majority?
of the total vote.
More than half. Okay? 50.1. What's it mean to have more than just the other person? A plurality. Okay, a plurality. In some countries today, that's all you need because they have multiple political parties that are active and stuff like that. Okay? So what you see in here is the breakdown. Now, if there is no majority winner, how is the election decided?
House of Representatives.
House of Representatives. Okay, the House of Representatives picks from the top 3 candidates. Who are the top 3 candidates in this election? Crawford, Adams, and Jackson. Okay, Henry Clay comes in 4th, right? So that means he's out of the whole thing, right? Kind of, sort of, but not really. Okay, for president, yes. For other things, no. What is Henry Clay's position in the government? He's Speaker of the House of Representatives. Okay, is that a powerful position?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, you basically get to run the show in a lot of ways. Now, how do you get to become Speaker of the House?
You're appointed by the
You're
president.
chosen by whom?
The president.
The majority party.
Oh, oops, fail.
Okay, so would this make him a very popular person in the House of Representatives? Yeah, so he's popular and he's powerful, which means he has a lot of what?
Power.
Influence, things
Oh.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
So what ends up happening is that John Adams and Henry Clay have a meeting. We have no written record of actually what happened during this meeting. However, what does Henry Clay do? Basically, he supports
Adams.
Adams. John Adams becomes president. Okay, who's very angry? Jackson and all his supporters. Suddenly, when John Adams becomes president, he makes Henry Clay Secretary of State.
Oh, dang.
Now, Henry Clay wants more than anything else in the world to be what? President. Secretary of State, way back in the day, was the stepping stone to become president of the United States. Okay, did Adams offer Clay the position for his support in the House?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Did he do anything illegal? No. Sounds like politics to me. Alright. However, okay, how's it going to be perceived by the mass majority of people in the United States? As a corrupt bargain. This is going to energize the Jackson side to basically make some moves. Okay?
Oh, what a cute little elephant.
Because of this, Adams walks in the door to the White House horribly outgunned already. Okay, he's not going to be effective, he's not going to get anything done, right? Because it pretty much alienates most everybody else. Okay, now, this is what you need to know about the impact. What it does is it creates a new 2-party political system. The Democratic-Republican Party goes away. Okay, 2 new parties are going to emerge. The first one is known as the National Republicans. The National Republicans. It's going to be headed by John Quincy Adams, Henry Clay, and later on Daniel Webster. If you look at their platforms, they almost look like the old Federalist Party.
Okay, so the National Republic was led by Quincy Adams, but was that continued to be led by Quincy Adams after he went into the House of Representatives?
He's one of the leaders of the party, yeah.
Okay.
His influence is going to wane, though, very quickly. Okay? They believed in a strong central government. Okay? They were bankers and shippers and things like that. They tended to be located a lot of times in the Northeast, as far as their geographic base. The second party that emerges is known as the Democrats. Democrats are going to be headed by Andrew Jackson, and then he'll pass the torch to Martin Van Buren. Okay, they tended to believe to champion the common man. Okay, farmers, okay, city workers and things like that. From this point forward, we're going to start to see the reorganization of the American two-party system. Okay, it's going to continue. The National Republicans are going to transition into a party known as the Whigs. Okay, W-H-I-G-S.
What is the whole elephant and donkey?
I'm going to tell you, it's from a cartoonist by the name of Thomas Nance. Okay? Yeah.
Were the National Republicans trying to gain popularity by imitating the ways of England?
I think that had a lot to do with the choice of the name when they adopted that. The Whigs are going to be in power for about Alright, any questions? Okay, last thing that we need to do very quickly, because we're running out of time. Okay, please write these down and label it at the top, the Marshall Court.
On a separate sheet of paper? Yeah. That's what I'm doing.